Welcome. These will be my thoughts on Runaways, Season 1, Episode 5, Kingdom. The episode is rated TV-14, so there will be spoilers for these first 5 episodes and potentially anything MCU and adjacent that had come out when this episode first premiered, not for anything that came out after. And I continue to find a lot to love. Still not a single episode where I just love, like, the entirety yet. But is there like 25 left total? So maybe we'll get there. And yeah, it's really cool that they, I guess somebody on the writing staff realized we're like halfway through. We should probably have everyone's, like, I feel like Alex's thing is probably just going to be tech. It's possible they'll come up with something more fantastical for him as well. But other than that, the 6 of them have their powers. And in Chase's case, the tech, it seems like, that he's going to be using, and with Nico, the power is she needs the staff to use it, but it is apparently a partially genetic thing. And let's see. I guess one of the things, I'm not gonna lie, the fact that, like, we have this, like, the biggest use of superpowers of the show so far halfway through the episode, and then not that much for the last half. It was still, I was invested quite a bit, but it is a superhero show, and I think that might be it for the overarching. Yeah. So we open in flashback 18 years ago, and it becomes clear Jeffrey really did, like, forget about Darius. That seems, yeah. I don't approve of Darius's methods, but I can't really fault him for being tremendously frustrated with Jeffrey's, yeah. And I when I looked up about this show, that was like, I don't know, 2 years ago maybe, or something, back when I thought that I would be able to watch it on Disney Plus instead of having to buy it for myself, because Disney Plus decided to remove it, at least from, I want to say it's called UK Disney Plus. Not that I'm in the UK, but close enough, apparently. Yeah, and no, I'm not using a VPN. That's not going to happen. I forgot Julian McMahon was going to be on this show. So that was a nice surprise. Yeah, that's... I really, really missed getting to see him and stuff. So that's... yeah. And I guess he didn't feel burnt by... he recovered. He was very badly burnt, though, in the Fantastic Four films. I mean, in canon, anyway. For him to return, and to Marvel, no less. But yeah, I think that almost covers the yeah. I like the thing about, what if we could have him out in a month? Because if he the I will admit I was just a tiny bit confused if the no, yeah. Let's see. If I understand correctly, Jeffrey did shoot Osiris, and he asked Darius to. That's why he was going to be in for longer than Darius. Yeah. Um, and the let's see. Yeah, so this is them getting into Pride. No wonder that they got membership from. Yeah, and let's see. The I guess that does cover the entire flashback. They did a good job on the so there's a couple of different things for selling the set as a prison. Um, Set design, extras, costuming. Yeah, like the whole way it really did feel like we're looking at the inside of a prison. And let's see. Yeah, I am already struggling to remember what the next. Oh, right. Yeah, the next scene must have been Alex in the car, and I guess I'm guessing off screen, Alex started to wax poetic about Star Trek and Star Wars. Thought I'd tick off both fan bases with just a few words there. And then Darius was like, "I will. Do you see this gun? This is not a prop. Well, okay, in reality, it's a prop, but the yeah, um, if I had the guts, training on Dagobah would also be what it said when people for my answering machine, the message. Now I think that pretty much covers the yeah. Yeah. So Nico, you know, wait, was that okay? Certainly Nico gets she brought the gang back together, and I did quite appreciate that Nico's really not that scared of her mom, apparently, because yeah, she grabbed the wand, and yeah, the um the thing about like get me Alex, and at first it's like I don't think that did anything, but she yeah, they get the heat signature from it because the staff is Predator tech, and suddenly they're driving there. Molly, I think there's a chance that the others would have an easier time accepting when you said that you have super strength if when the others are trying to figure out whether or not they should be driving quite this fast, if you weren't going like, wee. I mean, I would be too, but that's why nobody takes it serious when I say I have super strength. But the yeah, and the let's see, I guess that brings us to the I like the you know yeah, Carolina is really not holding back when it comes to she's all about that rebelling now. And I did like Nico actually trusts her with the driving. I get why. I mean, with Gert, it's at least in part the chase of it all, and I think that pretty much gets us to yeah. So Darius tells Alex about the you know Nana B, which that was also like holy crap. Um, Jeffrey really somebody called Kirk Cameron because Jeffrey really left behind the the people who took care of him when he was younger. Like, wow. And I think that pretty much yeah, and the thing about it used to be 50K, now it's a million. And the let's see, yeah, honestly, for a second I thought that there was going to be bonding between Andre and Alex. Ah, crap. And I already used the Forgot About Dre reference. I forgot there was a character named Andre. Hmm. I'll get over it eventually. But but yeah, instead, um, yeah, there's the thing about jobs growing on trees. Yeah, and I really appreciated because that is the thing. Like, there's a lot of incredibly gifted people that just can't. There just aren't jobs for them, and that's a major driver in a lot of crime. It is because they can't. Yeah. Uh, and let's see, what's the other thing that I wanted to say about that? The which obviously, UBI could address that problem. Uh, I feel like there was at least one more thing that I really wanted to say about this part. Um, Right, I did like the way that so early in the episode, the thing about hand over the phone, and we see his hand on the gun. Does he take this crook down and risk it all? And then we see him read, hand over the phone, and then later he brings out the gun and shoots. Now, I think that does bring us to the let's see. Yeah, I like the fact that so Gert does try to call Chase, but it's the what's the word? There's he like has it on vibrate or something. I think that's what it's called. Vibration is what we'd say in Danish. Anyway, yes, the and it's going well talking to his father. They're bonding tissue, and the but yeah, and that was also it's you know. So they're you know they start the you know they've got the 3D printer going to make the fistigoons, something like that. And then, you know, Chase accidentally knocks over the laptop, and just by instinct he reacts as if the, you know, yeah, you know, it's going to take more than these few hours to erase all the, you know, it's a, yeah, he reacts as if he's still expecting his father to hit him. And you can tell that it does bother the father. And yeah, um, I thought they did a really good job on that little moment there. And let's see, yeah, they even talk about, you know, well, maybe we can whip out the dream project, and then there at the end we see it did actually work. And I think that does cover that. Right, I like the thing about, you know, you understand this, but you don't understand, you know, the right, and the you know, laws. And I think they might have been thinking we should probably explain what laws are to the audience because they're a bunch of criminals. But that wasn't the most awkward way to. I thought it worked. Um, but yeah, you know, he's like, "Why? How come you only ever got, you know, was a B plus in calculus?" And then he says, "Well, I like, you know, practical application." And that's also, you know, um, it is true that if you are interested in something, you're going to do much better at it. You're going to have a much easier time learning it and using it than if not. Yeah, so at first, Jeffrey claims that's a wrong number, but, you know, his wife does end up knowing what happened. And I think that does, yeah, so, yeah, eventually Chase does realize about the phone, and I like how, you know, Gert is just, you know, motor mouth, just gets out the information. Okay, bye. Just, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Uh, I'm sorry, Gert. Still not completely 100% happy with the characterization of, you know, just the, I don't know. I think they must be doing it with like a wink and a nudge, nudge, say no more. But the thing about like how in the middle of, you know, driving, you know, Carolina is driving so fast that Gert is like really, really scared. And she's still managing to talk, you know, her lines are full of SAT words. And I don't know, it just, I think that might have been a good place to have her talk a little bit more like down to earth. Just, yeah. I think that might cover the, I did like the way that they talked about we don't even know what we're getting ourselves into, and, you know, yeah. Yeah, so they, yeah. So there's some gunfire, and this made up one of my biggest issues with this episode. Are you telling me that Jeffrey opened fire at that range with an automatic weapon when his own kid is standing right there. It just doesn't... It feels like somebody working on the episode really wanted there to be some gunfire there and didn't really think through the... Yeah, I don't know. It just... Especially because, like, later in the episode, they're still, like... Even when he's really, really angry with him, like, he's shocked that Alex thought that he was going to strike him, you know? So, I don't know. That really felt... I spent several seconds thinking, so, somebody fired an automatic weapon. Alex is standing right there. I see that Jeffrey is holding an automatic weapon. Who's got the second automatic weapon then? Who took those shots? Oh, that was Jeffrey. Okay. And the but yeah, the idea that, yeah, so Alex shot Andre in order to... Yeah, and then, you know, now he feels like it's his fault that Andre is dead. And not particularly giant, for that matter. And, yeah. By the end of the episode, I mean, he feels that. But yeah, yeah, so, you know, he shoots, and then there's the, yeah, he gets, you know, Alex ends up still back in the car. That also felt a little bit like, okay, so the writers have these particular pieces that they're dealing with, so we're gonna have, you know, he's freed from the, you know, like he spends maybe 10 seconds out of Darius's grasp there, even though he shoots someone, and that wasn't the only gun fired. That, you know, because, like, the writers want the episode to end shortly after a successful sacrifice, and they want the six to all use their powers within a short amount of time, presuming that Alex is... Well, I guess he doesn't... He uses a little bit of tech slightly later, although checking whether or not a camera has... Oh, wait, no, yeah. In addition to seeing that it hadn't been recording them, he also saw where it was sending the footage. That's not layman's stuff. Anyway, yeah, it's a tiny bit unfortunate, because, like, obviously, yeah, you know, if you didn't have the gunfire, then how does Andre end up, you know, in the hands of Pride? So, but the but yeah, so the six of them catch up. That was also, yeah, the thing about it, he doesn't want more heat on him. I mean, I've played enough Grand Theft Auto to know, yeah, sometimes it might be better to not attract too much, yeah. Anyway, the so yeah, the thing about, you know, well, seems like Nico can't make the engine stop, and Molly's like, but I can. And she lifts the car, which we know from earlier that she can do. Not sure how Carolina knew her shiny, glowy power could do the thing that she makes it do, but I suppose the idea is that she practiced off screen, because, like, nothing happened when she touched Chase. All that happened was that nothing happened. So I don't know. I can accept that it's one of those things. I can accept that she realized it and we just didn't see it. But would that not be a potentially compelling moment to see her realizing? Because that's, yeah, I don't know. And the let's see. And I guess Chase tested the Fistigons on the way there. They had to do some catching up in order to get the 6 of them using their powers and abilities within a fairly short amount of time, and largely as a group. So, but yeah, Darius dual wields, but he yeah, unfortunately for him, Nico's like, I see you're John Woo, and I raise you one Neo. And yeah, that was a very cool way to, and I do appreciate, because she knew about that it could make a force field of some kind, because they saw. Come to think of it, they didn't see that it was made by the staff, did they? We did. It's not like she could tell from poking at it that it could stop a bullet. Yeah. Still some kind of convenient writing, like the first 4 episodes. I think that pretty much covers the yeah. So the so he goes back to Jeffrey, and the others, go right. And yeah, we again have Molly, falling asleep, this time on the hood of the car, which I guess was it for the sight gag, I guess, because it would be a little more, it wouldn't have quite the same effect if they had to open the car door to find her asleep. But at that point, you almost might as well fall asleep standing up. Holy crap. Imagine falling asleep while lying on metal. I hope they gave the actress something, they hid some kind of, at least mildly more comfortable substance to lie on. I don't know, granite. But yeah, uh, that also felt like they just had to anyway. Moving on. I think does that more or less get us to so yeah, Alex notes that yeah, he asks, shouldn't you be getting him an ambulance? And I mean, I will say, Jeffrey, that was quick thinking, saying, oh, I know a guy off-grid. GSW, that's what they call it. He's just worried that people, because people in Andre's business aren't usually receiving what one might call quality healthcare. I guess no one except the wealthy are in America today. And the yeah, 1999, back then you could still sell well, I guess some people might still believe it, but back then it was even more people who would believe that yeah. Anyway, I think that pretty much gets us to so yeah. The let's see. Then we have the I am struggling to recall if was the next part yeah, it so the let's go with the part where just so I don't forget, yeah, so evidently they were not sacrificing Frank. Ellen was not sacrificing him. She just had to get him to stop asking questions. So yeah. And the let's see, I guess yeah, so we have the thing with the yeah, Alex takes the bus away and meets up with the others and tells them, the only way to save, Andre is, yeah. And I'm really here for Molly's joy at using her powers, and she also now does, you know, I mean, we know she's got it down to a science. She can just immediately activate her powers. I mean, I we know that fear is one of the ways to activate, because that's what happened when she didn't realize she did actually lift that car just high enough that it was going to start rolling. So, you know, yeah, when she's using her powers, I'm guessing she thinks about something that scares her. Maybe the fact that she's a young non-white woman in America. And to be clear, it is also dangerous for white women, but it is even more dangerous for non-white. Anyway, but yeah, she's like, I got this, forget about the coasters. We're putting our glasses directly on the wood. But yeah, she opens and then, they're like, where'd everybody go? And the yeah, that was, I honestly thought they had a chance to stop, but unfortunately not. And it's one of those things where I can accept that he worked on, Chase's dad worked on the I forget what it's called, the the um, the coffin looking thing. He worked on that off screen. That's okay. He fixed it. But if he's still hallucinating, how can we, like, I guess it was just, it needed to be ever so slightly more dangerous than it was before. Like, he knew that they would realize that he hadn't fixed it. So, because that's the thing, like, when he said, I'll bring out my old dream project and you can help me, I thought he was talking about the coffin, but then by the end of the episode it's working again without Chase having looked at it. So again, I feel like that some of these they could have, some of these are unforced errors is all I'm saying, because like you could have just had, like, he have him show the calculations to Chase, and keep it vague. Just yeah, say it's some kind of, oh, it's like a healing chamber. It'll revolutionize. It's a med bed. Trump is going to tweet out, truth out, whatever, AI slop video about it. Nobody quite knows if he's believing in it himself or not, or what he's even doing half the time today. And Chase could have, looked at it, maybe, have him start to look at it, and then they cut away, and then when they cut back, he's like, Dad, I got it. I know what the thing that's missing is. And, his dad be like, of course, how could I have been so, oh, thank you so much. And then, Chase, he walks off to fix the machine. Then Chase picks up the phone and realizes, and talks to Gert, and there you go, But now it's just like, well, what changed though? Because like he's still having hallucinations. Now we know why. It's not the malaria medication. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. I guess honestly, also, they did a good job on. We got just enough about Andre. Like I genuinely did, like beyond just basic, uh, empathy. I wanted things to work out for Andre. Like I was relieved when he was only shot in the shoulder, but then it's like, oh right, pride. I really hope nobody watches these videos, has no clue what the show's about, and thinks I'm talking about like LGBTQ plus pride, because like they're not. This is what like some conservatives seem to think pride is when it comes to LGBTQ plus people. Anyway, I think that does brings, yeah. And the thing about, well, there's the video is sent to, the most hack-proof place. So I'm guessing they're gonna hack it later, but not this episode. Or I don't know, maybe could they possibly get there somewhere, some other way than hacking, maybe? Because like I feel like they wouldn't mention it if it's not gonna come up in an upcoming episode. But yeah. I think that might get us to the I feel like there's one more thing that I really wanted to say about. Yeah, I really appreciated, yeah, Alex being like, it's my fault that Andre is dead, and yeah, the comforting words. Surprised, not that Tina found out, but that she was so chill about it. When did she get to be cool about the wand issue? But yeah, I think what else is, so obviously the yeah, I'll briefly talk about, yeah, the thing about, so this whole time it was Julian McMahon in there in the, I mean, not really. I'm guessing they pulled a, in the recovery bed. I'm guessing they pulled a Charmed and had, a stunt performer in heavy makeup take his place. But yeah. I wonder what this means for Frank. So have they been doing... there was the line about it's never taken this long before. So does he just live in there most of the time in the last... Oh, yeah, wait. No, yeah, they said... And I guess Frank thinks he's dead, and it seems like it was Ellen's previous husband. I'm really hoping not father. But and apparently he, speaking of fathers, it sounds like he's Carolina's dad, and Ellen is not that big a fan of the... Oh wait, no, yeah, I think I get it now. For 15 years, once a year, they sacrifice a 17-year-old or a runaway. It normally is one of the church people, and gradually he's healing over the course of all that time. And this was the one that brought him all the way back. That checks out. That works. But yeah, I do not know how they're going to explain this to Frank, because he was walking around fine 18 years prior. But yeah, Ellen, doesn't really want to tell him, and isn't, she doesn't quite lie to him, but she, you can tell from her face, she's like, can I unheal you until I think of an excuse for you to not see what appears to be your own daughter? Is Carolina gonna get to have 2 birthday celebrations now? And yeah. So I think that does just leave, yeah. We have the thing about yes, so Alex confronts Jeffrey about about Andre, and I did think there was really well done, the body language on both of them, when because like I believe him. I believe Jeffrey was telling the truth, that he not only was not at that particular point considering it, but that he, at least the way he feels right now, would never hit Alex. But Alex is learning a lot these days about his father, and the yeah, we have the thing about the he brings out the you have the exchange, which I don't think that's ever been an exchange between my father and I, but I have heard of other fathers and sons. The thing about get out of my room. This is my house. I'm loaning you your room. Your room's on loan. Something like that. Yeah. And before Alex's mom walks in with her badass face. I'm still okay with Julian McMahon on the show. She has competition, but so far still she might be have the coolest face in the badass face. Oh right, now yeah. So the actual sacrifice. The thing about, you know, um, well, we want him to stay alive, don't we? Here, drink this. Is it medicine? Yes. As long as you think your condition is neck down mobility. And, yeah. Didn't love the finger touching, because it's like he's right there. But the thing about, you know, what about the wand? Oh, I think we can do it without this wand. Yeah. There's some cracks in pride. They're all keeping something from someone else, or having some issue with, yeah, someone else's methods or the like. Yeah, I think the appreciate time travel already making an appearance, or time. I used to know. I swear I'm still a sci-fi nerd, but I used to. There's a specific term for when it's time vision, time share. You know, when you can see through time. But the but yeah. 5 episodes in, they waited just a little bit longer than the dinosaur that takes commands like a pet dog. But that was actually the first time that we saw someone, you know, the thing about like, oh, you know, what happened to Destiny when she went into the the coffin looking thing. I thought it might be time travel or something along those lines. Now, I think let's see, there's a couple of more things. I want to try to get everything while I try to remember. If you haven't already, there's a really... Sometimes it's difficult to pick just one video to... okay, it's not going to happen each day, but today, Jacob Geller's YouTube video, Silksong, and let's see, Biblical Apocalypse or something like that, and also some more news. Let's see, I think it's called Donald Trump. My wrists are too sore to check right now. Donald Trump and the ways Donald Trump is making money off the presidency. I think that does not provide me enough time to remember what else I was gonna say. Let's see. Yeah, I like the bit where they just sit in front of, you know, and yeah, the giant lizard is right there, and they're just like petting it, and yeah, at this point I'm fairly confident they have like an animatronic and or puppet thing for when for like close-ups where it's not doing a lot of movement, a lot of like jumping around and running and such, and for actors to actually interact with. Let's see, I think that pretty much, you know what, maybe I was to make it absolutely clear, I do really appreciate like Molly, you know, when she was going wee as they're driving fast. Like, part of it is also that so much of her life in recent years, since, you know, what was it, 10 years prior when her parents, since then, she's been very protected. So, you know, she doesn't get to have that much fun. So that's also part of what's going on there. Okay, so there's very little left. I think the that might actually leave only yeah, I appreciated Alex's mom and Jeffrey talking about I just don't remember her name. I'm still learning everybody's names, but the with my luck, I'll have their names down like just after watching the season finale, when there's going to be, you know, weeks or I guess months without me watching, so I've forgotten. Oh yeah, actually, come to think of it, because if I'm recalling correctly, I'm actually planning on taking when I'm done with season 1 of Runaways. The next Marvel show that I do is not going to be Runaways. It's, I think MODOK, because MODOK comes before Hitmonkey, I think it is. So, you know, just so I don't have several seasons in a row of the exact same show is the idea with splitting up these last. Anyway, I think, but yeah, so the yeah, Alex's parents talking about, you know, well, maybe Darius is, you know, I quite appreciated her saying, you know, I think we're both about equally to blame for, yeah. And, you know, she says it's not a question of if, it's a matter of when. Well, you know, we're going to deal with it. Oh, yes, we're going to deal with it. And, yeah, the, so yeah, right before they have their conversation, you know, Alex is like, you know what? You stay here. I'll sleep in the guest room tonight. Tell our butler to bring the caviar in half an hour. I'm not saying Alex is wrong. I'm just musing about the, you know, I don't know. It's a slightly silly line to have after his father just said your room is just on loan. I guess it's him pushing back against it, like saying, well, the guest room isn't. And yeah, you know, so he leaves, and, you know, his parents talk shop, and I just want there to be like an outtake where Alex, you know, calls out from off screen, I didn't actually go that far. I can totally hear you scheming.